Venice is the city of dreams, or whatever tourist description you want to make of it. Obviously, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and as with anywhere where you get a lot of tourists, dining is hard work because a lot of the restaurants are catering to tourists. They know they're not coming back most of the time, so they don't care. So here are three places that do care. The first has been there for quite some time, called FIORE, and it's a specialist seafood restaurant. You take a little boat on one of the canals out to it from where you're staying. It's just, it's in the city, but just slightly on the side. It's in a obviously very pretty setting. I mean, it's actually just about everywhere in Venice is very, very pretty. And the emphasis there is on sort of fish that's caught in the local harbour and nearby. It's a very, very sort of classical restaurant, but to a good standard. So this is a place, if you want to have seafood in Venice, that's really the best of the options. In the city itself, the best restaurant is called QUADRI, and this is quite new. It's been opened only a couple of years now, and it's a sister restaurant of a restaurant I'll mention in a moment called CALANDRE. Now, QUADRI is actually a very beautiful old cafe. I think it's 17th century, right in the middle of St Mark's Square. And they've taken the cafe over, and it still runs as a cafe in the day, but on the top floor is now a fine dining restaurant. And this has a chef who was one of the cooks at CALANDRE who's been moved in there, and it does gorgeous modern Italian cooking. The setting is overlooks the Mark Square, so you can't possibly do much better than that. The restaurant's already gained a Michelin star, and on the basis of the meal I had there recently, it's a very, very strong 1 star, pushing towards 2. So in the city itself, to be honest, QUADRI would be the top choice right now. For the third suggestion, I'd recommend you get on either a local train or a taxi and head out to a less picturesque place called Rubano nearby, and this is the home of Le Calandre. And Le Calandre is my favourite restaurant in the whole of Italy. It's 3 Michelin stars, and its chef is actually the youngest 3-star chef ever. So he was given 3 stars at the age of 28, which is 3 years younger than anybody else ever managed. And what's unusual about Mr. Aliamo is that he can do both classical and modern cooking equally well. So on the menu you can either go the modern route or go the classical route, and I've done both at his restaurant, and they're both absolutely superb. So you either have very cutting-edge modern cooking with every technique known to man, or you can have very traditional, beautiful, classical Italian dishes, and they work equally well. And it's very unusual for a chef to have this kind of ability to flip between these different genres, as it were. So although Rubano itself's nothing to look at, certainly not compared to Venice, it's well worth the excursion, and you'll have one of the most striking meals that you'll ever eat in your life, I think, if you go there. So in general, Venice is a place where you have to be a little bit careful where you choose because of the emphasis on tourism. But if you're careful, and particularly the places I've mentioned, then you can eat incredibly well.